The best dreams happen when you are awake. And do you know that all dreams are within reach? All you have to do is keep moving towards them. And I know that right now your dream is to speak good, fluent, and confident English. And you want to polish your English language skills to achieve this dream of your English fluency very, very soon. If this is what you are dreaming for, then today's session is for you. Today's session is only for those serious learners who are taking their English journey in a very persistent manner. Hello, my dear learners. Welcome to Skillfident, and I am your mentor, Namita. This is an academy which always talks about self learning. Here, we work on different skills to become more fluent, more confident in English speaking, and also we try to become our best version by improving our different areas. So, I hope that you are ready to attend today's session because we are going to work on learning some new phrases. The phrases which are very simple and easy to understand but will make your language more polished if you seriously learn them. So, I would say that sit with a notebook and pen because that's a real English learning session and note down each phrase. There are just 10 phrases, but these phrases are enough to actually cater to different areas of your life. If you learn these phrases, if you understand how to use them, you will be able to speak very good English. You'll be able to impress a lot of people at your workplace, in your college, in your school. Are you ready to enhance your English speaking skills? Then spend these next few minutes with me with a notebook and a pen and keep your mind open while learning all these skills. Let's start today's video on a very, very positive note. The very first phrase that we are going to learn today is in the long run. In the long run. Long run. So, in the long run is an idiomatic phrase that means considering the long term outcome or consequences of a decision or any action. That's how when we use in the long run. Or I would say that simply think about a situation where you want to emphasize the long term results rather than its immediate effects. You're looking for something which is going to take some time. So then you can use in the long run. Let me give you a few examples and then it will be much more easy. Like if I say, in the long run, eating more of raw fruits and vegetables every day will keep you healthy, right? So that result will show itself in the long run. If you think that today I've eaten raw vegetables, raw fruits, and from tomorrow I can see improvement in my health, that is not possible. Nothing is going to change. It will take time. So that taking time is where this phrase comes into relevance in the long run. I can say practice good manners and habits every day because in the long run it will make you a better person. I believe you agree with this. Remember to study hard every day so that in the long run you can achieve your dream. Taking care of your physical health and well-being will result in better overall performance in the long run. So this is how you can use in the long run in simple sentences. This is not a difficult phrase to recall. If you start using it from now itself, you will never forget it. I've already created a few sentences for you so that you can also create a few sentences for yourself. Let's move on to the second phrase now. This is last resort. The last resort. Now, this phrase, last resort, refers to the final option or solution that is considered when all other methods have failed. It's what you turn to when you have no other choices left. Basically, we use the last resort when this is the only choice that remains. I hope you know there are situations when we don't have much choice. So we say, this is the last resort, the last choice that we have. Let me give you a few examples again, it will be easy for you. If someone says, I applied for many jobs and finally, as the last resort, I asked my uncle for help. It means that they tried everything else that they could think of. Applying for jobs, must have looked for some advertisements, job applications, and must have tried a lot, Naukri.com. But asking his or her uncle was the only remaining solution so that he could help them. Now, this phrase highlights the sense of urgency. It was urgent. He wanted or she wanted a job, but asking help from the uncle made it easy. This phrase basically touches on that moment of tension, the final attempt after everything else fails. So that is when we use the last resort. So it's a situation I think we've all faced, whether deciding on a career move, solving a tricky problem, or even navigating personal challenges. We have seen that there are times when we have tried it all. So it is that it becomes a necessity that finally we have to choose that option. So that option is the last resort. I hope it is clear. Let's look at some more examples. During financial crisis, as a last resort, we could consider selling the house. Many people do that, selling the gold, anything of that sort. The doctor said surgery was the last resort. I hope it is simple. The company is considering layoffs as a last resort to cut costs. Those who are working would know that this happens. Cost cutting is real, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to the third phrase. This phrase is the bottom line. The bottom line. Now, basically, you have to identify the main point or conclusion of your message. When we say the bottom line, introduce the main point or conclusion using the phrase bottom line. This phrase is commonly used to emphasize the most important part of a message or to summarize the key information. Something which is very significant, something which you cannot miss is the bottom line of your message, right? Let's look at some examples and then it will be very clear to you. He may have had his reasons, but the bottom line is that he cheated and I simply can't forgive him for that. Simple. That everything else is kept apart, but the main point is that the cheating that he did. Moving on to next example. The interior designer's argument had so many good points, but the bottom line was that the renovation would increase our home's value by 75%. So everything is okay, but the bottom line is the increase in value. Or an example, a simple one can be the new tech company's bottom line performance exceeded expectations, leading to a rise in stock prices. So this is how you can use bottom line. Now this one specially I want you to create a sentence for and type it in the comment section. Type a sentence of your own using bottom line. You can also use any other phrase which you feel is good. So completely up to you, but I would still want you to make a sentence using this one. Let's move on to the fourth phrase. This fourth phrase is go hand in hand with. Going hand in hand with. Now, if you look at it, if you just straight away look at the words going hand in hand, holding hand with something. So if something goes hand in hand with something else, it is closely related to it and happens at the same time as it or as the result of it. Like, very simple, if I say prosperity goes hand in hand with investment. So if you invest wisely, you are going to be prosperous. Simple. Education and personal growth often go hand in hand. Simple. So it's like two things holding hands, that one thing comes with another or as the result of it. So we can also say success in life goes hand in hand with hard work and persistence. So same goes with your fluency in English. If you want to speak good, fluent and confident English, then it goes hand in hand with your hard work and persistence, with your self-learning practice techniques. That's what I can say. So create your own sentence and see if you can use it while having conversations with other people. Now let's move on to another phrase. This earlier one was going hand in hand with. Now this new one is on the other hand. You must have heard of it. On the other hand. It's a common phrase, but you need to know how to use it properly. On the other hand is basically a transitional phase, commonly used to introduce an alternate perspective or contrasting idea to what has been previously mentioned. Basically, if I am trying to convey from another point of view, then I say on the other hand. And if I have to give you a perfect one word substitute for this phrase, on the other hand, I would say you can use alternatively. Alternatively can be a very good substitute for this one. So let's look at some examples and then it will be very clear to you. Like Rahul wanted to go to the beach for a vacation. On the other hand, Meera preferred a mountain retreat. So both of them have different choices. Another great example can be something which you can resonate very easily with. The new smartphone is sleek and stylish. On the other hand, it lacks some of the advanced features of its competitors. Do you know any such phone? If you do, let me know in the comment section. The phone, its name, the one which matches with the description in this example. Okay. Another example can be this movie, the new release, received mixed reviews from critics. On the other hand, the audience seemed to enjoy it thoroughly. Are you noticing the contrast that is being created? Like the most simple example for this can be I'm craving a pizza. On the other hand, I know that a salad is a much healthier option. So, this must be a dilemma which many of you suffer from, isn't it? Okay, so this is something about on the other hand, and it will be easy for you to use it in future. Moving on to the next phrase, from scratch. From scratch. Now, from scratch means starting from the very beginning or with no previous progress or work done. Basically, when you start from the beginning and entirely without the aid of something that is already prepared or is in existence somewhere, then we use this phrase called from scratch. So, in simple words, from scratch means to start from the very beginning or to create something new with no experience, knowledge, or advantage. So, that's when we use from the scratch. Examples can be very simple. He had to learn the language from the scratch before he could communicate with the locals. So we are not just talking about English here. It can be French, it can be German, it can be Spanish. So to communicate with the locals of that place, he had to learn the language from the scratch because it was not his first language. Or she cooked a delicious meal from scratch using only fresh ingredients. Or in the same way, when we are talking about cooking, we can say she doesn't have time to make cupcakes from scratch. So I'm sure the ones that she has brought are from the bakery. This is another way of using it. And the very simple one is I built this channel or built this academy from scratch. You can also say I built this website from scratch, like right from the beginning. There was no background, nothing. I had no support. I did it on my own. So when we do something from scratch, it means we did it without any aid, help, and started from the very beginning. Hope it's clear and you can use it easily. Moving on to the next phrase, it is the gold standard. The gold standard. Now, gold itself, it is so expensive these days, it is out of reach, for a common person. Gold standard. Now, when someone says that something is the gold standard, they mean that it is the best, foremost, top thing by which all others should be judged or compared to or benchmarked. Like gold is so valuable, gold is the supreme metal. So when we say gold standard, it means it is the top notch quality. So this gold standard is one idiom or a phrase which represents the best, most reliable, most prestigious thing of its type. Now, historically, it was referred to gold standard monetary system, where a country's currency had a value directly linked to gold. But today, it is used more broadly to talk about some excellence. So, many Indians feel that life in the US is the gold standard for the world. So, that's a common perception. This is an example that I'm giving you. This is how we use it now, that most Indians feel that life in US is the gold standard for the world. Now the people who moved there and they know the reality, they would probably not think like that, but when we are sitting in India, we feel that life there is a gold standard. Or a simple thing I can say for stressed, dry skin, flaky skin, rough skin, facial oil is the gold standard, or aloe vera gel is of gold standard. So that's how you can use gold standard when you're talking about something which can be benchmarked. That's all about gold standard. Let's move on to the next phrase. The next phrase is along the lines of. Along the lines of. Along the lines of means roughly similar to something, and something is like something, but it is not exactly the same, right? So along the lines is just showing the similarity, though not exactly like the thing we are talking about. Let's look at some examples and then it will be absolutely clear to you. But suppose somebody is constructing a house of their own. So we can say, well, that's along the lines of what I have in mind for the new house, but there are a few changes you need to make before it's right. Or we can say that the new system will operate along the same lines as the old one. Or I'm looking for a silver teapot, something along the lines of this one here. So I'm not looking for something exactly like that, but similar to that, along the lines of. So that's how we use along the lines of. You can use it very easily in your sentences. Moving on to the ninth phrase, that is to go without saying. To go without saying. Now this phrase means that something is so obvious or well known that it doesn't need to be stated explicitly. It doesn't need to be said like that. Like if someone says, it goes without saying that we should all wear masks during a pandemic. They mean that wearing mask is such a universally accepted practice during a pandemic that there is no need to discuss it further. When there is a pandemic, you have to wear a mask. It's as simple as that. We don't have to really say it out loud, right? In other words, for another example, if I have to say something, I'll say it goes without saying that drinking water is essential for good health. Do I have to give you numerous reasons and logics? Of course, it goes without saying that you have to keep yourself hydrated and drink more water because that's good for your health. Or I can say, of course, it goes without saying that you will be paid for the extra hours you work. Suppose you have a confusion in your mind that would I be paid? So they say, of course, it goes without saying. When you're working extra, you'll be paid extra. So when something is obvious, something is, it is there, people know it. So then we use goes without saying or to go without saying. Use it. It's a very nice phrase. Use it more often in your conversations. Now let's move on to the next phrase, next and the last one for the day. Come into play. This is the 10th phrase, come into play. Now, if something comes into play, it starts to have a use or an effect in a particular situation. And if it is brought into play, it is given a use or an effect. Basically, people are beginning to use it, begin to be used like that. A simple way of saying is in the summer months, a different set of climatic factors come into play. We are just experiencing a transition. A month back it was winters, now it's summers. So in the summer months, a different set of climatic factors come into play. They come into action. So we can see the effect. A simple example would be Ravi's experience in marketing really came into play during the campaign. Now, this sentence implies that Ravi's marketing expertise became important or relevant during this campaign. It wasn't there before that, but it came into play now. Another example can be all the resources and staff available were brought into play to cope with the crisis. So they were ready to make use of all the resources that were available. So that's how we use come into play. So these are very simple phrases, not at all difficult, something that can be used very easily, something that you must learn if you're serious about taking your English to an advanced level. If you're serious about speaking good English, if you're just not ready to manage with makeshift English, then these are the kind of phrases which are simple to use, very easy, and you can recall them better than you can recall vocabulary. So I hope that you will note them down and you'll make your own sentences and you'll be able to recall them while talking to somebody in your office or in your college or anywhere else. So that's all for today's session. I hope it was useful. I'm looking forward to reading more of your comments and I'll see you in the next session. Till then, keep working on your English. Have faith in yourself that you are going to reach your level of fluency very soon. And I'll see you in my next session. Take care of yourself. Bye bye for now.